Good evening and namaskar everyone. Welcome to Ridhima's Manch Pravesh. My name is Manish Kanorkar, Ridhima's brother, and I have the distinct pleasure of being your host tonight. Before we get started, I'll introduce the star of our show. Ridhima Dua recently graduated from Apex Friendship High School and will be attending UNC Charlotte to study computer science. She has been learning Kathak for the past 11 years at Akriti Kathak Academy under the guidance of Guru Dr. Tirugraphy. Over the years, she has not only trained in this classical art form, but has also mentored younger students and performed in numerous recitals and thematic productions led by Dr. Rakesh. Her journey with Kathak has been one of inspiration, discipline, and deep cultural connection. Outside of dance, Ridhima has been an active member of her school and local community. She participated in clubs focused on food insecurity, mental health, and public service, including Key Club and other student-led associations. Her volunteer work spans across various organizations. She assisted with a COVID-19 food drive at the Hindu Society of North Carolina Temple, contributed to Seva efforts with her Nirankari mission, and briefly joined DSCNC for more community-engaged events. Ridhima strongly believes in doing good for the world and for the people around her. She holds her culture, values, and traditions close to her heart and feels truly honored to share her passion for Kathak with everyone today. As she steps into a new chapter of her life, she looks forward to embracing college life, continuing Kathak, and possibly exploring Bhangra while staying grounded in her roots. For Ridhima, Kathak is more than dance. It is devotion, it is art, and it is an inseparable part of who she is. Now, I'd like to tell you all a little bit of what a Manch Pravesh is. So a Manch Pravesh is a dancer's full first solo performance, a powerful milestone that reflects years of rigorous training and deep devotion to the art form. It marks the dancer's formal entry onto the stage as a solo artist, signifying their readiness to perform publicly after completing their foundational training under the guidance of a guru. This event is not only a celebration of technical mastery, but also of emotional maturity, discipline, and the sacred bond between teacher and student. It is a transition from a learner to a professional, from practice to performance. And we will begin with Pushpanjali. Pushpanjali means an offering of flowers. It is an invocatory piece traditionally performed at the beginning of a performance. In this piece, the dancer salutes God, the guru, the parents, the accompanying artist, and you, the audience.
सुलझाओ भगवन जन को धीरज दो, हारे नहीं वो कभी दुख से। तुम मन को रक्षा दो, रह पाए निर्बल सुख से। भक्ति दो, शक्ति दो, भक्ति दो, शक्ति दो। जग के जो स्वामी हो, इतनी तो अर्ज सुनो। है पथ में अंधियारे, दे दो वरदान में उजियारे। पालनहारे निर्गुण और न्यारे, तुम्हें बिन हमका कौन नहीं। तुम्हें उलझन सुलझाओ भगवान, तुम्हें बिन हमरा कौन नहीं। पालनहारे निर्गुण और न्यारे, तुम्हें बिन हमरा कौन नहीं। तुम्हें उलझन सुलझाओ भगवान, तुम्हें बिन हमरा कौन नहीं। पालनहारे
Before we get started with the next part, Shania, Ridhima's sister, would like to recite a special poem she wrote for her. Shania, please come up here. Okay, let's turn this down a little bit.
You can probably hold it. I can't. Yeah. Can you take it out?
Oh, okay, yeah. Alright.
Shan, come here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shania, and I'm Ridhima's younger sister. I've seen my elder sister's dedication to Kathak while I was growing up. Therefore, I've composed a poem for her. She steps on stage, the lights held low, years of silence begin to glow. In every bell that raps her feet, our stories whispered soft and sweet. Gungrus tied with trembling grace, yet fire dances on her face. 1,000 mornings, endless tires, now rise like stars in her steady eyes. She's not just my sister here. She's rhythm, breath, and something near. Too scared to flame, to ancient art that speaks through footwork, eyes, and heart. The tabla calls, the langa flows, and from her soul a river grows. Her feet recite, her hands explain what words alone cannot contain. The years behind her softly burn, each bruise, each fall, each slow return. She walked the path with grit and grace to find herself in this one place. The Manch Pravesh, not just a show, but proof of all she come to know. A dancer born not in a day, but craved through time the Kathak way. And in the crowd our hearts will swell for what she's done and what she'll tell. Not just through tales of gods and queens, but through her life she lived in routines. Tonight she danced as if to say, this is my voice, my truth, my way. And when she bowed, the silence she knew. A journey ends, a soul breaks through. Thank you all.
Isn't that amazing? Also, as a quick reminder, please keep your phones on silent. We would like all the attention to be focused on the beautiful performance, not your ringtones. Alright, as per tradition, we begin with an invocation to Lord Shiv, with a dance called the Nataraj Stavan, or the Ode to Nataraj. Through this dance, we acknowledge Nataraj as the supreme dancer and seek his blessings for our performance today. He is the one who dances to the vibrations and percussion of the hand drum, the one who has wild locks of hair. He is the one from whose head springs the holy river Ganga, representing the flow of spiritual teaching and wisdom passed from one generation to the next. He has the goddess Parvati as his left half, a combination of masculine and feminine energy. He wears serpents representing ego, which once mastered can be worn as adornment. His drum represents time, and fire represents space, making Nataraj the embodiment of time and space, and hence the unfolding dance of the universe itself.
Thank you.
we will begin the Teen Tal segment of the performance. Tal is a time cycle and the foundation of all compositions. Although it is similar to time signatures in music, in Indian music and dance, the cyclic journey is what anchors a composition. The most important beat of the cycle is the first one, known as sum. How one explores a relationship to the sum is the creativity and virtuosity of the artist, and indeed, the possibilities are endless. In the technical or pure dance aspect of Kathak, compositions are complex rhythmic phrases that mathematically fit into the chosen time cycle, following compositional rules depending on what it is. For example, a crescendo divided into 3 equal parts. The most technical piece of the Manch Pravesh, Tal presentation tests the dancer's understanding of rhythm, tempo, and most importantly, timing. Applause after a composition ending on a sum is welcome and demonstrates the interactive rapport between the dancer and her audience. As a note, Teen Tal will be a 2-part performance, with the first part now and the second part as the finale. Of course, no performance would be complete without some beautiful musical accompaniment. When I announce their names, please give a warm welcome to our exceptionally talented musicians tonight. We have Shri Pratap Mishra ji on tabla, and Shri Sujit Fanse ji on the harmonium. And last but not least, Dr. Kriti Rakesh is on Tarhant, reciting the compositions. And with that, let us begin.
means the world. I would like to thank my lovely parents, especially my mother, for putting all this together. And I would also like to thank my Guruji because she's the only reason why I've reached this point. So next, I'll be performing Peshkar. Peshkar means to offer. It is a series of intricate footwork pattern which starts slow and builds in speed and energy. This allows me, as a dancer, and you, as the audience, to warm up together on stage, presenting Peshkar. A dancer often uses recitation. Recitation is a very essential and valuable part of Kathak and unique to its dance form. Okay. So yes, I will be reciting Paranamad. Uthan and Than. So apparently, I have forgotten that I was supposed to do Tat. So my apologies. I will actually be doing Tat. So Tat is a series of poised and graceful movement. It is full of slow and delicate expressions, presenting Tat.
Hey, you sound good. Oh, okay. Hey. Hey, sound good. Hey, do, ti, cha, pa, che, sa, no. Gyara, vara, tera, choda, bandra, sola, si. Hey, hey, da, da, da. एक से लेंगे, सम से लेंगे। हे, हे, ही, त, आ, हे, उठान। हे, ही, थे, त, थे, त, थे, 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 थे,
So now, I'll be reciting Varanavad. So, just to explain again, recitation is a very important part of Kathak. It is unique to its dance form. This helps the dancer understand the structure of a composition and relate certain words with certain movements. Varanavad. Thun thun nage nage thunna kirta dhati ta ginnaram tha dheta kirta dheta katta ghege na katta ghege na katta ghege na ta the tat the the a the tat the 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 Take the take the ta. Take the ta ta ta. Take the ta 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 ta. Take ta ta.
Hey, ta ta ta. Hey, hey, ta ta ta. Hey, hey, ta ta. Paranamat. Dhatik, 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 nage, nage, thunna, kirata, dhatik, dhatik, hinna, na, dhare, ta, kirata, dhare, ta, kata, dhige, ta, dhige, na, dhige, ta, kata, dhige, ta, dhige, na, dhige, ta, kata, dhige, ta, dhige, na, dhige, ta, ta, dhige, ta, dhige, 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 ta, dhige, ta, dhige.
Next, I'll be doing Vedam Tihai. A Tihai is a composition repeated 3 times in its entirety. When a Tihai is Vedam, that means that there are no gaps in between each repetition. Presenting Vedam Tihai.
Hey, hey, ta ta ta. Hey, hey, ta ta ta. Hey, ta ta. Vedam Tihai. Sa re ga hey ta. Hey ta re ga sa re ga hey ta. Hey ta sa re ga sa re ga hey ta. Hey ta hey ta re ga sa re ga hey ta. Hey ta hey ta re ga sa re ga hey ta. Hey ta hey ta re ga sa re ga hey ta. Hey ta re ga sa re ga hey ta. Hey ta sa re ga sa re ga hey ta. Hey ta hey ta re ga sa re ga hey ta. Hey ta hey ta re ga sa re ga hey ta. Hey ta hey ta re ga sa re ga hey ta. Hey ta re ga sa re ga hey ta. Hey ta sa re ga sa re ga hey ta. Hey ta hey ta re ga sa re ga hey ta. Hey ta hey ta re ga sa re ga ta ta ta.
Next, I'll be reciting a very ancient Jaipur Gharana from Aishi Chakradhar Tora. Dha, dhin, dhin, dha, dha,
Dhin, dhin, dha, dha, dha.
dhin, dhin, da, da, dhin, dhin, da, dha, dhin, dhin, da, dha, dhin, tav, thunga, taka, takita, thunga, taka, dinita, thunga, taka, na, dig, 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 thay, na, dig, 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 thay, dig, dig, tha, dig, 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 thay, dig, dig, tram, tatta, thay, tatta, thay, tatta, thay, dig, dig, tram, tatta, thay, tatta, thay, tatta, thay, tatta, thay, dig, dig, tram, tatta, thay, ta, thay, ta, thay, ta, thay, ta, ta. थोड़ा फास्ट करेंगे इसको बिल्कुल फास्ट करेंगे
Ta ta ta. Hey, hey, ta ta ta. ठीक है? Ta thu ta 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 ke ta thu ta ta te ga ta thu ta ta na te ga te hey na te ga te hey te ga te ho te ga te hey ye te ga tram ta ta hey ta ta hey ta ta hey ye te ga tram ta ta hey ta ta hey ta ta hey ta ta hey te ga tram ta ta hey 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 ta thu ta ta ke ta thu ta ta te ga ta thu ta ta na te ga te hey na te ga te hey te ga te ho te ga te hey te ga
Parmelu. A parmelu is a composition which borrows sounds from nature. This particular parmelu is about King Jahangir, a Mughal ruler. This parmelu was made in his court at his request. It uses the word drig, meaning eyes, so the phrase Driga Jahangira is referring to his ruler's piercing eyes. Presenting Parmelu. Actually, reciting Parmelu. Janga, janga, janaka, janaka, tata, kuku, hey, driga, jangira, janga, janga, janaka, janaka, tata, kuku, tigda, digga, hey, tata, kuku, tigda, digga, hey, tata, kuku, tigda, digga, hey.
Hey, hey, tat, ah, hey, hey, tat, ah, hey, hey, tat, ah, hey, hey, tat, janga, janga, janaka, tata, kuku, hey, driga, jangira, janga, janaka, tata, kuku, tigda, digga, hey, tata, kuku, tigda, digga, hey, tata, kuku, tigda, digga, ta.
Next, I'll be reciting a paran. Ghin naka dhuma kita tha, kirda tita ta, kat tita ghega tita dhuma kita, kirda tita katita ta, kat ta tha, tha, katita ta, kat ta tha, tha, katita ta, kat ta tha, tha.
Ta, tin, tin, ta, tin, tin, ta, ta. Tin, ta, tin, ta, naka, dhuma, kita tha, kirda tita tha, tat, tita, ghega, tita, dhuma, kita, kirda tita, ta, tita, tha, kat, ta, tha, da, tita, ta, tita, tha, kat, ta, tha, da, tita, da, tita, ta, tita, tha, kat, ta, tha, da, tita, da, tita, da, tita.
Next, I'll be doing a gavat. A gavat is a poem set to tal. This gavat was written by Narayan Prasadji. It is Makhan Chori or butter thief. It is about Lord Krishna who steals butter and then gets in trouble.
Tin, na, tin, tin, na, tin, tin, na, tin, tin, na, tin, tin, na. Makhan Chori. Krishna Sakha, Krishna Sakha, Krishna Sakha, मिल गए ग्वालन घर, फिरत फिरत घर देख लियो, फिरत फिरत घर देख लियो, फिरत फिरत घर देख लियो, ग्वाल के कांधे, ग्वाल के कांधे, ग्वाल के कांधे चढ़ माखन उतार लियो, दधी खाए लियो, दधती पटकी चटकी पटकी और दूध को फेर बखेर लियो, पकड़ लियो राधा ने जब तक, पकड़ लियो राधा ने जब तक, पकड़ लियो राधा ने जब तक, बाल बाल सब झाड़ गए, दधी खाए गए, देखो नारायण पास लगा के नाचन लागे, तस पे पे पे, तस पे पे पे, तस पे पे पे।
Next, I'll be performing a Gat Bhav. Gat refers to stylized walking or movement, while Bhav signifies the expression of emotions through those movements. Together, Gat Bhav is how a dancer can embody many characters to display a story. Today, my story will be Draupadi Chirharan, Some of you may be well aware of this episode from the Mahabharata. It starts with Duryodhan and how he wants to play a game of feud or chosan. He welcomes Yudhishthir into the court. He asks him if he wants to play the first roll of dice. He says, no, Duryodhan, you play. So they bet on various things, such as kingdom, crown, his 4 brothers, and finally, Draupadi. After this, Duryodhan orders Dusashan to brutally drag Draupadi into the court by her hair. When Draupadi enters, she notices how Yudhishthir has placed her on the bet. She feels betrayed. She goes asking for help from many people, but no one comes to her rescue. Dusashan starts disrobing her, pulling on her fabric from her sari. Then Draupadi prays to Lord Krishna, who offers infinite fabric and saves her from this humiliation. Presenting Draupadi Chairharan.
piano piece. Din na na din na na din na na din na na din na din na 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 Saga din na da din na ta din na tu na din na 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 Kamali Chakradar Saga din na da din na ta din na tu na na din na ta Gina tu na ta 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 Gina tu na ta 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 Gina tu na ta 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 Saga din na da din na
Now, wasn't that one of the most beautiful performances you've ever seen? The sheer grace, the sheer poise, and honestly, remind me never to get on her bad side because I think that stare could kill you on the spot. Alright, now I would like to invite Ridhima's parents, my father, who sees Ridhima as a second daughter, and Dr. Kriti Rakesh's mother, up to the stage to felicitate the exceptionally talented musicians we have present today. I would like to introduce them and then call them up to be thanked by the family. Up first, we have Mr. Pratap Mishra, who's playing the tabla tonight. Mr. Mishra has pursued tabla for more than 3 decades. He is a distinguished tabla artist from the Banaras Gharana, Sangeet Visharad, and a National Scholarship awardee, and a graded artist from All India Radio and Doorbell. He trained under Pandit Gopal Mishra, who is a disciple of Pandit Anokhe Lal Mishra, and led Laikari and Kathak accompaniment under Padma Vibhushan awardee Pandit Birju Maharaj. He has performed in India, Europe, and the USA alongside maestros such as Pandit Birju Maharaj, Pandit Rajan and Sajan Mishra, Pandit Parth Bose, and many others. Professionally, he is a general manager of human resources with over 2 decades of corporate leadership experience, and he enjoys teaching and mentoring students in the US and globally. Please give him a warm round of applause. Next, we have Mr. Sujit Ponce, who is on the harmonium. Mr. Ponce trained in Basri and tabla and harmonium under Pandit Malhar Rao Kulkarni in Mumbai. He is the winner of multiple accolades, including 2nd place at the state level music competition. He has trained in vocal music with Sri Pritam Bhattacharjee in Atlanta and has performed in several cities around the USA. And he's a software engineer by profession. Please give them both a round of applause. How lucky we are to have such talent amongst us tonight. For This next composition is called Niratatagam and it is an Ashtabadi, a type of composition traditionally performed in Kuchipudi, a classical dance form distinct from Kathak. While Ashtabadis are not commonly seen in Kathak, this particular piece was uniquely choreographed in Kathak by Pandita Manisha Sahib. It was written by Bindadin Maharaj Ji and set to Rag Mishra Pidu and Rupak Tal and beautifully sung by Mrunmai Phatak. The word Niratatagam refers to the style of dance. So our little princess is actually wearing a costume change, so bear with us for a few minutes. If you have not had the chance to have dinner or any refreshments yet, there's still plenty available outside. Feel free to help yourselves. Restroom, it will be downstairs. Everyone, if you could start making your way back to your seats, we're almost ready to begin. Next, we have Sitar Bandish. This piece is set to the beautiful music of the sitar, a stringed instrument, accompanied by the percussion of tabla. Technical Kathak is bound in rhythm within which the dancers present several short compositions that are technically, mathematically, and rhythmically challenging. Storytelling is kept to a minimum, and this aspect of Kathak is purely movement and rhythm-based. The composition is set in rag Madhukams. And as a request, we ask that everyone stay seated during the performance. If you need to get up, use the restroom or anything, please do so between the performances. Thank you. I would like to introduce a special guest tonight. Our guest of honor is Rama Manjrekar. She will be felicitated by Dr. Rakesh and Jaya. Mrs. Manjrekar received her first lessons in Indian classical dance from Mrs. Udam Murdeshwar. Thereafter, Mrs. Manjrekar has been learning the finer nuances of Kathak from Dr. Manjari Deo and Talmani Pandit Mukundraj Deo. She has been teaching Kathak in the US since 1997 and is an authorized Kathak examiner for Akhil Bharatiya Gandhar Mahavidyalaya. She is on the board of directors of Dorya Pratishtan, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. She has choreographed numerous thematic productions, dance dramas, and theater productions. She has organized and hosted numerous workshops, lecture demonstrations, and performances of artists from all over the world. Would you please come on stage?
So everybody, please give another round of applause to Ridhima. Such a wonderful performance. It is very difficult to do a performance like that. Her dedication, her guru's commitment, and her parents' support and encouragement. I think you have to have all three elements lined up for her to do what she did on stage today. So a round of applause for her guru, Dr. Tirugraphy, and her parents. She's blessed to have a guru who is ready to give her time, effort to a student. It is a blessing to have a guru like that. So I think a big round of applause for you and the effort that is. I hope she keeps dancing. I hope she gets to portray her art and her passion as she goes on to her college and future endeavors. Wishing her all the very best and thank you all.
Thank you for those beautiful words. Up next is a contemporary piece. While rooted in tradition, Kathak has beautifully embraced contemporary compositions, allowing for new kinds of storytelling. This particular song is both popular and poetic. Written by Irshad Kamil and sung by Rahat Fateh Ali Khan, it's a special surprise dedicated to Ridhima's mom. Wasn't that so beautiful? Yes. It really was. I always love seeing fusions of classical and contemporary music. They're quite stellar. Before we begin our finale, I would again like to ask Rohini Auntie to come up on stage to felicitate Dr. Kathak. They have been best friends since first grade, meaning their friendship has stayed strong for 40 years. Dr. Kathak is a multifaceted Kathak educator. She's proficient in both Jaipur and Varanasi Gharana, and has been teaching Kathak in Cary, North Carolina since 2007. She has over 16 diploma graduates and 10 thematic productions to her credit. She is an authorized center head and Kathak examiner for Bharati Vidyapeeth University. She recently founded a non-profit organization, Akriti Kathak Foundation. This platform aspires to serve as a beacon of inspiration for future generations, ensuring the continuity of this cherished art form and nurturing a community where artists can thrive. In September 2024, the foundation held the first Kathak Festival of North Carolina, called Facing East, which featured 12 Kathak artists from across the globe and students from 5 Kathak dance schools. Please come up on stage.
Everybody for coming today and blessing Ridhima. She's all yours with all your blessings. Today we could do this. Special vote of thanks to Kriti and her family. I have known her from kindergarten actually, and we were in school together, and after the school got over, she used to go and do Kathak. And watching her grow and our friendship grew, I used to think that maybe kabhi I will have a daughter. I cannot do it. Maybe she'll be able to do. And see, today, she will learn from her and she should perform with her. I'm
Thank you everybody.
Yes, Ridhima really has grown from the strange little 7-year-old we met that one summer night in when we just moved to Apex, North Carolina. She was sitting up all cross-armed like this, leaning on the hood of her dad's car. When the four of us, myself, my 2 siblings, and my mom, we walked outside. You know, it was literally what, the first week, second week that we were in Apex, and we knew nothing. We knew no one. And there she is across the road, and she's waiting for us. And we asked her, do you know what fun stuff there is to do around here? And she's like, yeah, there's a park right down the road. And indeed, it was literally a 2-minute walk down the road. It had everything, a swing set, sandbox, ballpark, everything. And we were like, we had our soccer ball with us, and we were like, you want to come play with us? And she's like, yeah. People she met less than 5 minutes ago, she's just going all along with them. But yeah, it's really been a joy to see Ridhima grow and blossom into the beautiful young woman she is today. And we're very excited to see where this road takes her in her future endeavors. Now we shall head back into Tintal. I would like to invite Mr. Mishra and Mr. Fanse to come take their seats again on the tabla and harmonium, and Dr. Rakesh back on Bahan. And in this part, we will have the dancer and musicians have an interplay of tal. Now please tell me, is everyone ready for the grand finale? I think we can show a little bit more excitement. Come on, let's try that again. Is everybody ready? That's one of us here.
Ridhima loves doing chakkars, so you're in for a treat. Good luck. पहला टुकड़ा ता ठुंगा तक्का ठुंगा तिगदे ता ठुंगा तक्का दिग 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 पे तत्त 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 पे तत्ता चक्रधार धरत तगे धग तग तेरे केड़े तग तग तेरे तग के तग केड़े तग ते था तग तेरे ना तग तेरे ता तग तेरे केड़े तग था तग तेरे ना तग तेरे ता तग तेरे केड़े तग था तग तेरे ना तग तेरे ता तग केड़े तग था धरत तगे धग तग तेरे केड़े तग तग तेरे तग के तग केड़े तग था तग तेरे ना तग तेरे ता तग तेरे केड़े तग था तग तेरे ना तग तेरे ता तग तेरे केड़े तग था तग तेरे ना तग तेरे ता तग तेरे केड़े तग था धरत तगे धग तग तेरे सवाल जवाब. So Pratap ji has composed some questions for her, and Ridhima will reply with her gurus.
Thank you all so much for coming and supporting Ridhima in her exceptional display of her talent. I would now like to invite Ridhima up here, as she would like to thank everyone who has supported her efforts along the way. It has truly been an honor to share this night with all of you. Let's give her another round of applause.
Okay. So, I wrote this like one day ago. It might be bad. Anyways, so to start the speech, I want to thank every single family who took the time out of their busy lives to be here today. Your presence means the world to me. I also truly appreciate how attentive and respectful everyone was during my performance. It never goes unnoticed. Okay, I know your backs are probably aching from sitting in those chairs for hours, but bear with me for just a few minutes. I want to take this time to honor the people who have shaped my life and brought me to this very stage. Get it? Like stage, from stage of life. I know, right? Like, that wasn't even that funny. Anyways, starting with my Apex Friendship High School friends. Y'all are here! Okay, you all have known me for like 3 years, and more importantly, you've helped me grow, even in some dark times, from, hey, where'd you go? Okay. From hallway conversations to lunch table laughs, to doing our makeup in the bathroom every morning. I know that sounds disgusting, but when you wake up at 5:45 a.m., you really have no other options. So, you all made my school life feel like home. I used to hesitate when it came to expressing my culture or my love for dance, but with you all, it became natural. You listened to me yap about Kathak, and instead of brushing it off, you showed interest. You showed me love. Today, many of you even took part in this journey. I'll miss you more than I can even put into words. And while we're at it, can we please get a grand round of applause for the graduating class of 2025? So next to my fellow dance classmates, wow, English. Okay, Ria, Sanika, Ajita, Aditi, Nishka, and Lavanya. Oh my god, I hate your iPad. It honestly feels like we've been dancing together for lifetimes. Most of you have known me since I was 5 years old, or 7. We've shared so many memories, inside jokes, stress before exams, confusion in class, but through it all we've had each other. We've been glued together for years, but beyond that we've become sisters. Ria and Aditi, you've shown me that balancing life, school, and Kathak is possible when ambition leads the way. Nishka, your sincerity and kindness reminds me that good hearts will always shine. Sanika, you brought so much light and laughter to class and carried so much optimism. Special shout out to Ajita and Lavanya Didi because they inspire me so much. They have kids and they still have jobs and they still come to class regularly, and I think that's such an accomplishment. So big round of applause to them. And then special shout out to Kieran. Kieran and me were never in the same class, but we've grown so close since the production, and you've been like that one good friend to me that I really need to get through anything, and I love you so much. I don't know where you are. Yeah. But big round of applause to Kieran as well. So yeah, I love you guys deeply, and it's going to be weird not seeing you all as often anymore, so you have to pinky promise not to forget about me. Next, I want to target my Sangat family. I would like to say Dhan and Karji. Woo! Dhan and Karji! I love you and honor each and one of you. From the age of 3, you've guided me through every stage of life. It would be hard to single out each and every one of you, but know that you hold a deep and special place in my heart. I want to share a small story that some of you may not understand, but I know my Sangat family will. When I was 7, I attended a samagam in Atlanta where Babaji and Mataji were present, and I was supposed to perform a little dance. And I had only 4 days to learn the dance. It was to the Mada Maskalander, some of you may remember. So I was very terrified before that moment came, and I photographically remember Babaji's smile. I don't know why. He was standing on the black truck, and I remember him smiling at me. And that moment has stayed with me since. And whenever I dance, I just feel like it was meant for me because of him. So I just wanted to share that with you. parents, you have carried this day for me. You put every piece together to make this Manch Pravesh beautiful, and you did it with so much love. Here is where I might cry. Okay, my mom, you are the master planner behind everything. You handled it all so well so I wouldn't have to stress, which is funny because you usually love stressing me out. But this time you took it all on. It hurts knowing I'll be leaving when I go to college. I'll miss gossiping with you and knowing you, going shopping and watching some TV shows with you every night. Yeah, we watch Mahabharata every night. You're my best friend, my greatest support, and I have to pack you in my suitcase. I'll poke some holes in it, and then I'll pack you and you'll come with me. Okay, so Papa, you drove me to every dance class for 10 years. And then I got my license, and that was probably the best day of his life because I don't have to drop her off anymore. Anyways, and then Shania, the most chaotic yet most loved little human in the audience.
Oh my God.
I love you. I might not miss you taking my clothes and makeup, but I will not miss yelling at you about it at all. You better keep me updated on everything, even if I'm 2 hours away. And then to a few very special people, you know who you are. I met you when I was 7, and for 5 years we were neighbors. And even though you decided to betray me and move to Pittsburgh, I still can't go more than a week without talking to any of you. Especially Chanda Didi. You've never missed a performance of mine. Yes. It's crying. Okay. And even if she does miss a performance, I always catch her up with some video. And she cares about the littlest details in my life, ones that I didn't even think she would notice. You're the first person I call when something goes wrong, and the first person to know when something went right. I already hate being 20 minutes away from you. I can't even imagine 2 hours. You know me better than every person here. You know my flaws, the way I'm stubborn, and even how I can brutally cry. If you cry, then I cannot. So, no.
Alright, get it. Don't look at her. Don't look at her.
I was doing so well.
Alright, carry on.
Oh, really? My makeup! Okay. Yeah, where was I? The way I started and even how I brutally argue. But you choose me as your sister every day. You choose to embrace everything about me. You tell me when I'm wrong straight to my face and still love me through our ups and downs. I'm lucky to have you in my life, and I'm taking you with me to college, no questions asked. And now to my two brothers, Hazel and Manish. I love you guys, even though I hide it pretty well. I love you, and you're just my two idiot brothers, who also happens to be smart and hilarious and handsome. And I can't glaze them that much. I don't have that in me. But anyways, even when I'm bawling my eyes out, they know exactly what to say to make me laugh. And I'll never forget the glory days when I was taller than Paige Omega. Like, it lasted 2 years, but that was the best 2 years of my life. Anyways, you guys always made me feel protected and safe. And Rocky's coming, and I'm gonna get money, and Gucci purse, shoes, new piercings.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna get all that, by the way. You're gonna see. Manifesting it right now. Anyway, I seriously don't know how I'm gonna survive college without the three of you there. I've been glued to them since I was 7 years old. I'm 18, so I have horrible attachment issues. But I love my attachment issues to them, because I love them. And I just hope we remain the same little kids we were when we played outside all day and watched ball beer together. I asked for a little sister once and was blessed with a whole second family. Mahesh uncle, Chai auntie, you've treated me like your own since day one. I love you as much as I love my own parents. Maybe even more, but don't tell them that. I don't know what I did to deserve you guys, and I'm endlessly thankful that you're both in my life. You all know I'm gonna cry every night in my tiny dorm, missing each and every one of you. And now to my guru, Priti Auntie. For some reason, I've never been able to call Priti Auntie Masi or Didi. And some of you know this, and I get asked, like, why do you call her Auntie? So today I'm gonna send out the message. Please know that your title doesn't define my place in my life, your place in my life. You're my guru, my mentor, my second mother, one of my best friends, and one of my closest people who I cannot imagine my life without at all. My mom has known me. My mom has known you since first grade, and who would have thought that both of you would end up in the same city, same state, so close? And it would be you who fulfilled her dream of teaching her daughter to dance. You fearlessly inspire me. You came to this country for something else entirely and built a whole academy out of your passion. You live, breathe, and honor Kathak. You remind me that dreams aren't just meant to be imagined, they're meant to be built. I hope you dance. Only a few people are going to get that. Lastly, I want to thank the incredible team who put this event together. These amazing people set everything up within an hour, and all I did was sit back and look pretty. Ajita, Lavanya, Ria, Shreya, Sanjana, Anisha, Kiran, Nishka, Manish, Chetna, Peshul, and some of you who I may have not listed, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But know that I value you and love you. Yeah, and I would also like a special shout out to my dad's cousin from New York, Jaya Didi. She traveled the furthest for this, so love you. And then thank you all for showing up, putting in the effort, making today unforgettable. I'm so lucky to have a big family, this beautiful and this full of love. I'm terrified to leave you all, but it's what you've prepared me for. Know that I carry honor, respect, and infinite love for each and every one of you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you all for coming. And I'll make sure to have it for the iPad. Worst iPad ever. Like, what is this?
I've kept this alive for 4 years.
You don't wonder. Yeah.
Indeed, Chaya is watching you live. Chaya is watching you live. From Mauritius.
Hello.
It's 4 a.m.
It's 4 a.m. Oh my god. Chaya, can you hear me?
She can, she just can't say anything back.
Yeah, she can. Now she can. Tell her to speak.
No, she cannot.
Oh, she cannot.
Well, I'm missing Chaya, and now I don't know what to do.
We have cake.
Okay.
And then we have cake.
Oh yeah, and then, sorry guys, we also have a cake cutting and dessert, so please stay for that and photos.
All right. Cool.